Can't believe it, but we've actually got a beautiful, bright, sunny and warm day today here in Southeast Victoria. Haven't seen much of this spring, and as a result, my front lawn, it's been struggling in recent times. So today, gonna make the most of it, gonna kick it into gear, do a few bits and pieces to get it fully filled in. Excited. Yes, g'day and welcome to a new video. Now, where the chat in society is typically seen as a bit boring, but I think for us lawn fanatics, it's interesting. It has a big impact on what's going on underneath our feet. And so for me on this front lawn, what I'm seeing under my feet is still patches from my most recent top dress where things are taking a bit of time to fill in. And a lot of that is due to the weather, which has been yuck. Now this video will come out on the last day of spring, and even though the calendar says that, it really feels like we haven't actually had a proper spring. Typical September for me here is when temperatures start to creep up into the 20s. You might even snag 1 or 2 30s in there. A couple of good stretches which really start to raise those soil temperatures. October, November, we really start to see some of those much nicer weather. We still feels like we always get in November somewhere a 12 or 13 degree really cold day, but for the most part, average temps are getting up around 20. So we're seeing a lot nicer growing weather, and definitely into October, things are really starting to take off. But it has just not been that way this spring. So last spring, we had a really good one. Really nice spring, and we had last spring 19 days 25 degrees or above, which is basically 25 degrees and above every 4 or 5 days on average. Pretty good. This spring, out of 92 days, we've had 8 days 25 and above. And in terms of rainfall, October, November have been really wet, and in the last 23 days there's been 13 days of rain. And then as recently as last Thursday or Friday, I took this soil temperature mid-morning, which 16 degrees, like warm season grasses start coming out of dormancy at about 14 degrees. Around 17 is the mark we're looking at for granular fertilizers to really properly be able to be broken down. And then active growth in warm season grasses starts to kick in sort of 18 plus degrees. So 16 is a figure that I would typically be seeing in that, throughout September, depending on weather, and really starting to increase into the season. So late November, end of spring, to be seeing 16, just when you hear a Victorian sook about the weather this season, there's good reason for it. You could in fact argue that it's barely even reno season and we're at the end of spring. So as a result, I've got some disease in my back lawn. The front lawn is looking good, all things considered, but there's been some areas where with my last top dress that I've filled them in and they are just taking their time. So you can see areas like here where I'm trying to get this transition off here nice and smooth, and it's just taking its time to fill in. But now that is enough sooking, and as much as I do have bare patches, I do also have some beautiful green patches, which I am just super excited for this entire lawn to fill in and get really thick and just be humming along in my regular maintenance, because it's going to look absolutely sensational. Hopefully days like yesterday where it was a bit warmer, well, they'll be cloudy. Today, tomorrow, lifting soil temps, getting that growth really pumping. And so yeah, enough sooking. In terms of taking action, something that we just want to do is be consistent. One of the most important lawn care practices is regular mowing. So at 15 mil, let's get a cut done. A nice cut there at 15 mil. I've probably mowed at 15 mil 4 or 5 times, but for the last couple of weeks I've been going at that height, and it's looking pretty good. I'd like to get down to about 12 soon. I just still have a couple of little spots around my edging where I just want to be topping up and just get it exactly right to make it nice and safe for my cylinder mower, because if I was to smash a reel again, I would be very, very upset. Oh no, here comes the postie. I'm watching you, mate. They're not tons of growth, but yeah, geez, the good bits look good, and the bare spots, they are just gonna come in nicely. Now, something I didn't really have to do, but I wanted to make a video for Instagram for, just to show bare spot repair, and it's good to talk about and show here as well. I've got a couple of spots, and like I said, I didn't really need to do this, but I've got my plugger here. So I've pulled out a plug from over here, and in the middle of this little bare spot, I've chucked it in there, and mate, you can just tell how damp that soil is. It's not an ideal situation. We really need some hot and dry weather. But another one over here, and so essentially what's going to happen here is, see these runners here? They are just gonna, this little spot is just gonna take root and then spread across. This is gonna come from here, this is gonna come from out of here, and repair that in. So plugger, handy tool sent to me by Lawn Care Australia, and a good one if you do have little bare spots. And now the regular mowing here is a major key to just be consistently clipping the top off, even if it's not looking super overgrown and like it really needs a mow, but just that consistency, sharp mower blade. So at home, rotary mower, keep your blades nice and sharp. My cylinder mower, keeping it good contact with the reel. And just by not allowing it to grow up, it's just gonna help it to shoot across a little bit more and thicken up and take over those bare spots, along with the biggest factor, which is just patience with the weather. That's ultimately, you know, things have been really, really slow recently. Seen a few posts in my Facebook group and things like that, where it's just growth is really, really slow at the moment. But yeah, keep up your consistent mowing, let it warm up. Surely it has to get warmer at some point. Surely we're gonna have a summer. And that consistency will do the job, along with consistency in product applications. So I've got a slow release granular fertilizer in here from, geez, maybe about 6 weeks ago now. So that is just gradually releasing over time and feeding the lawn. So if you have applied a product in the last, 6 to 8 weeks, yeah, you're probably starting to think about reapplying. I'll get another round of granular out here probably in a few weeks. And if you're on a liquid program, keep up with your liquids, which is what I'll be doing now. This Ironcutter couch lawn will typically have lower nutrient requirements and water requirements actually than something like my native Kikuyu out the back. But still early on, maybe for this entire growing season, I'll go every 4 weeks with my liquid lawn tips mix. Next season, as it's more established, I'll be getting more into that kind of 6-ish weeks. Should be plenty, and a little bit lower rates, going out at 300 mils per 100 square meters just then. But yeah, look, as the sun shines on this a bit more, it's just, yeah, I'm so encouraged by how good some of those bits in there are looking. And yeah, as I've harped on about all video, the more it warms up, the better it'll get. And when this video goes up, it will be the last day of Movember as well. So I had, when I shouted it out last time, a couple of videos ago, I got a donation via YouTube. So thanks very much to that absolute legend there. So if anyone does watching this, got a spare $5 or $10, yeah, it's a fantastic cause, Movember, all about men's health, and more than just donating to my page, check in on a mate that you haven't spoken to for a while. If you've got something to do with your health, go get it checked out. You're better off going early and just getting a check, especially prostate cancer and things like that. To look after yourself and those around you for many years to come. And in the mental health space, if you're struggling, speak to someone close to you. Maybe look at a mental health plan and seeing a psychologist. Yeah. No shame at all in looking after yourself in that space. I have done, and it's really, really beneficial. And last shout out to my free beginner's guide. So if you are early in your lawn care journey, even if you're an intermediate, I've got a free beginner's guide to lawn care, lawnsandgoodnick.com. Check that out. I think it's really, really good. I've had lots of good feedback already on it so far, so go and check it out. It's really helpful, lots of the key information to get you started in lawn care. And that'll do it for this one. It's just about consistency. It's really slow progress, which can be frustrating when you just want to be able to work on your lawn and get it pumping. But yeah, getting the nutrients, getting the regular mowing onto it, praying for some hot and dry weather here. I would absolutely love 3 weeks of no rain and plenty of heat. But hey, we can control lots of things, but not the weather. We'll see how we go in the next little period. Looking forward to getting the height down on this Ironcutter and keeping it going throughout the season. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.